I'm going to be turning this blanket into a jacket. Hello and welcome back to my channel, Modern Modiste. I've been seeing super cute blanket style quilted jackets and I love them and I want to make one myself. And this is like the short way of doing it. Instead of quilting all these pieces together, I'm just going to take a blanket that is already pretty and quilted together. I'm going to be turning this blanket into a jacket. So first I traced this pattern I created tracing a loose fitting hoodie I have onto my blanket. I raised the neckline for the back piece and I cut it on the fold. So I accidentally cut my necklines too short in the front. I just took some more of the fabric and sewed it along the neckline to higher the necklines. So I cut out all my pieces, my fronts, my back, my sleeves. And I decided for the front, I'm going to add welt pockets. I already did on this side. And I'm going to do this one. So I already cut this rectangular piece of fabric. This is linen fabric I'm using. I wanted it to be thin because I didn't want to add too much bulk into the seams when I'm sewing this. And I marked out the width and length I want my welt. Is that piece called the welt? My welt to be. And I'm going to sew a straight line down here, and then I need to mark the center because I'm going to cut that open, turn this inside, and create this look. I have a pocket lining in this very lightweight lining fabric, and I have this rectangular piece that I'm going to fold in half and sew along the top because that's going to be this piece for that side. After I sewed along the two long lines, I marked a line down the center of the two and marked triangles at each end like so. I cut on the center line and along the two lines of the triangles like this. I sewed along the bottom of the triangles here. Then I turned this linen piece of fabric to the inside of the fabric. I cut some of the extra bulk between the layers and pressed the linen piece to the inside. I sewed the welt piece along the fold and pinned it to the three sides of the opening. Then I sewed around the entire edge. Next, I sewed the lining to the bottom edge of the welt. Then I folded up the lining to the top edge of the linen piece and down the sides to close the pocket. I love them. They're so cute. And yeah, now that they're added, it's time to start assembling the jacket. I sewed the front to the back at the shoulders, right sides facing. Then pin the sleeves to the armhole, right sides facing, and sew the sleeves on. Then I pinned the sides closed at the armpit seams and sewed down the sides as well as the sleeves. After I finished putting this together, I decided that I wanted the jacket to be a reversible jacket. So I went back to the thrift store to look for another quilt, and I found this beautiful one here. I followed the same exact steps, cutting this out and assembling it, only I just made my pockets a little thinner. So I'm gonna get ready to join these together. I have this zipper. My craft store didn't have a reversible zipper for me, so I pulled this out of my zipper stash. It's a little short for what I need, but I'm just gonna have to make do. It's reversible, it's the perfect color. I also went and I cut out pieces for the hood, also for this material as well. To create these hood pieces, I just measured around the neckline of my jacket, and I just used a hood on a jacket I already have as a guide to trace out the curved edge, like so. Now I'm going to assemble the hoods and the jackets together, and hopefully it comes out super cute. I sewed along the curved edges, then pressed the seam open as best as I could. Next, I pinned the hoods together right sides facing and sewed them together. I cut triangles into the seam to reduce bulk in the seam, then top stitched along the edge. I lined up the center back of the hood with the center back of one side of my jacket and pinned the rest of the hood to the neckline and sewed the hood onto my jacket. Next, I clipped one side of the zipper to my jacket and used a zipper foot to sew it onto my jacket. I opened my zipper and clipped it to the other side of my jacket, making sure the top was lined up with the other half of the zipper. Then sewed that side onto my jacket as well. I attached the other jacket to the neckline using my clips and then sewed along the neckline, attaching this jacket to the hood and the other jacket. This was really rough to sew due to all the bulk. Then I cut triangles into the seam to reduce some of that bulk in the seam. I pinned the sides closed, sandwiching the zipper between the two jacket edges, and sewed the sides closed. I used my zipper foot again for that. Then I lined up the edges of the sleeve of each jacket and pinned the edges of the sleeve openings together like this and sewed them together. Then I turned the jacket inside out again and pinned the bottom close. I sewed about 2 inches up from the bottom edge of the jacket since my zipper was shorter than my jacket, and I left about a 10-inch gap in the back center to pull the jacket right side out. I pulled the jacket through the gap I left and hand sewed the opening close. Last, I top stitched along the zippers. So, the jacket's all done and I love it. It's so cute. It turned out cuter than I thought it would. This is my favorite side for sure. It's so bright and colorful and reminds me of spring, which is one of my favorite seasons. And it's reversible. 2 jackets in one. Who doesn't love that? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this thrift flip refashion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video. Yeah, and if you did, be sure to stay tuned for my next video. Bye!